So let's talk about, well, first introduce yourself if you would,
Okay.
because I know a lot of people are new to the band and still checking out what you guys are doing. So if you would, go ahead and introduce yourself to the XS Rock fans.
Yeah, so hello, I'm Pla Vinseiro from Crisix. I play bass in Crisix, and very nice to meet you all.
So tell me about that. I love the theme for this kind of, I'm going to guess, I'm going to go out on a limb here, I may be wrong, but are you guys huge Anthrax fans?
Oh, well, that's a good guess, but I mean, of course, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, fun thrash is what I'm all about. So, I mean, not all of the band, we also love serious thrash,
Sure.
but really, yeah. And I'm not an original member of the band. I've been for some years, but one of the stories they always tell me about is when they began and the first shows, they would always put this live Anthrax video on YouTube before the show when they were backstage, so they could, just get pumped watching, to Frampello doing all this stuff. So yeah, huge influence, absolutely.
Yeah, you guys, the style, of course, the Pizza E.P. I mean, there's just a lot of things about this that sort of have that, a little bit of that Anthrax vibe to me.
Yeah.
As far as the fun side of things,
Yeah,
you guys are
absolutely.
definitely.
Also, this EP is very much centered on the fun side of the band.
Yeah.
I think we got really both going if you check the catalog, but really this EP we try to go all for this fun part, mostly because we all know what people needs right now, what we needed for sure right now, which is happiness and
True.
fun and all this,
So how did how did you guys come up with the concept of the Pizza EP and the whole story? I mean, because it's kind of it's a concept album, right? I mean, to a certain
yeah, you can call it a concept album. Then it's not this, of course, intellectual concept album for sure.
Yeah, it's not Operation Mindcrime or
yeah,
anything, mind you.
and it never. I mean, I think we never said the word concept album during the development of this.
Sure.
It was just, let's talk about pizza.
Yeah.
The thing is, we have our guitarist Baby Plata was a pizza delivery boy for the during the early years of the band. So he could have all this. Always tells all these anecdotes or weird stuff happened to him. Like, I don't know, once he told me about this when we were writing the lyrics. I asked for all of them. Like once he delivered pizza to a kind of cult. To display it was like people with ropes and all this, like very strange stuff. And we just took all of this and did a song which is called No Tip for the Kid, about him and about his dreams, and because he really was like writing riffs on his mind for the Menace for the first album while he was doing this.
Sure.
And he would have to really push so he would get to rehearsal on time. So it was really, I thought it was a really cool story, really real thing. And yeah, it just happened like this. And then, it came all the rest of the songs, which we really didn't plan it to be like this culinaric, but everything came together a bit like this. And in the end, it's a movie too. I don't know if you saw we got a movie.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very cool.
But it all came like very naturally. In the beginning, it just was this song. And in the end, we were like, hey, this is like a full story. We can make a full story out of this. So let's call it the Pizza E.P. and that's it. But it was very natural. There wasn't any of this huge trying to be this mastermind or anything. Just very, very natural development.
Operation Pizza Crime, we'll call it that. Yeah, my son actually delivered pizzas for a while, and yeah, some of the stories he would tell me are pretty fucking mind blowing. The stuff that happens while somebody's out
on the streets.
You think it's just like an easy gig, you drop off a pizza, but no, I mean, you see every type of person that exists doing that kind of thing. Everybody eats, right? So yeah,
in the end, it's a lot of doors. There must be. It's a lot of doors.
He never delivered to a cult, so delivering to a cult is pretty cool for writing a thrash song, for sure.
Yeah. I don't even think we put it on the lyrics. There were so many cool stories.
You should be.
Yeah, but for me, it was my favorite. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So how long did it take you guys to start to finish to finish this EP?
You know, the thing is, we really had, all this time, on rehearsal
Sure.
without playing
Pandemic situation, so
all this bullshit. So it was like, woo, a lot of time. And we just wrote too much material for a record.
gotcha.
So we decided, yeah, let's bring something to the table first in a different way. Um, so in reality, this really comes from the new album, which is not released yet, uh, Sessions.
Gotcha.
So it's a bit, you have so much material because you had so much time.
Mhm.
That's why you end up doing a movie too. We just have time and we want to work on Crisix, so we can't play. So what we do? We do a fucking EP and we do a movie. Yeah, let's do it. In the end, it's a bit about this. So I
So
don't know how much time it was, but it was through all this year. I know we had some demos already on December last year, and then we kept going, and then it was like, yeah, let's take this for I think 3, and then we did stuff to book a song exactly for the specifically for the EP. But then we took 3, and we were like, yeah, this is gonna be a cool little thing before people taste the new Crisix. We do an appetizer.
yeah, I was just getting ready to say, like, no pun intended, right? But it's like a taste
Yeah,
for the new album, Pizza E.P. It's hilarious,
it's
but yeah.
literally the appetizer.
Now you guys have a bunch of stuff going on though right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about everything you guys have happening, because it seems like you guys are busy with lots of stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot. In the end, we are just I don't know about this EP, man. It just opened the box for being crazy about all these ideas, and then we don't really control ourselves. So when one guy comes to rehearse and says, hey, let's have a pizza, official Crisix pizza, and nobody says, you're crazy, everybody's like, yeah, that's so cool. And then so in the end we ended up with all this. We have official Crisix pizza with Can Pizza, which is a great chain of restaurants in Catalonia, who won Best Spanish Pizza last year. They are amazing. We got this. We got another one in Madrid. We did deliver pizzas directly to the fans before going on tour. A couple of weeks ago,
really fucking cool.
We did a live on Facebook with this because Bibi, our guitarist, really was like, yeah, man, but you know why? This is great and all, but I really want to deliver some pizzas, again. It was serious. I couldn't believe,
It's cool, though. I mean,
yeah,
that's very cool. I mean, to be a fan of the band and have the band show up and deliver the pizza, what the hell?
You have to see his faces, because we did, just before we did the movie, I mean, the 4 video clips, which are this kind of movie about him,
sure,
more or less based on him. And so we released the movies on a cinema in Madrid and a cinema in Barcelona. And we did also a comedy show there, like a stand-up comedy with the band, which was really cool, a really new thing for us. And we had this presentation, so we asked people to, okay, listen, tomorrow is Bibi's birthday, and he will deliver some pizzas for his birthday to a lucky fan, and in the end it was like 3 or 4. So people left their numbers and their address, and next day we had to prepare to go on tour, but we decided to just get a motorcycle, the van, and we would drive behind him through Barcelona. He didn't even know where to go, and we were like 3 hours driving through Barcelona, and we brought the pizza plus the EP, which was not released yet. And the guys, I mean, the guys were like, wow, freaking out.
Pretty cool.
The whole band, all with this, with the uniform, pizza cold, everything. So this was very cool. Then we also have 2 sauces, hot sauces. Very cool. One is called World Needs Sauce, and the other is called Raptors in the Kitchen, black garlic sauce, which we are now releasing. I've tested them in this tour. I think I finished a couple bottles of each. I became very addicted to this. It's very cool. I'm telling you, wow. And then we will release very soon a cooking book. And this is, I think, the craziest that we got in the end. Like, hey,
Hey, why not? I mean, run with it, right? I mean, if
notice,
you're on a roll, go with it.
did any metal band release a cooking book yet? And we're checking, no. Let's do it. You know? So the book is called Spit Metal Kitchen of Doom, which is a little joke we have with our management too, Master of Metal, which are great cookers. And it will have our favorite recipes, of course, our favorite pizzas, favorite caterings from festivals,
Cool.
all a bit the story of how the Pizza E.P came to be, and just a lot of really fun stories from touring and
Nice.
food related, and I think it's really great. You know, at the beginning it was like, what the fuck, will we release this book or not? You know, I don't believe this will happen, but yeah, it's now happening. And then the last thing, which we didn't talk a lot about, this is kind of becoming official almost now, it's that we're releasing a video game that I developed with a friend, with a fan of the band, really, who was working now with me for some time. We're just releasing this little game for phone and on web, which it will be you deliver pizzas as our guitarist through the streets of Barcelona, and a lot of zombies come at you, and you throw pizzas and cut their heads. And it's really cool. This is now
It
still in
sounds fun
development.
already.
Yeah, but
So
I
you
can
developed
already
this
talk
yourself?
about it. Sorry?
You developed this yourself?
No, I mean, I had the help of this fan of the band that really is learning how to do this video game stuff for some time, and I really had a clear idea of what I wanted, you know. But I can't code. But I've been a video game player. I'm a hardcore retro video game, like Nintendo Heart and all this, you know, 80s, 90s stuff. So I really know what I want, and then he has the skill. And we are now finishing development. I think it will be just this cool thing for fans. We will have a score system, and the one that gets, it will be just like this hardcore old school gaming. The one that gets to the top, he will get some special stuff from the band.
Awesome.
Just fun.
So what platforms are you going to launch this on? Do you know?
Sorry, it got a bit.
No, do you know what platform the game will launch on?
No, you will be able to play it from the computer, and you will be able to play it from the phone, on the website, but also you will be able to download as an app. So
Nice.
It's cool.
Very cool, man. You guys are taking this to the limit, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where it will end, but you know, it's just, if it happens, it happens. I think we found this concept that really made sense for us, and then once it opens the Pandora box of crazy ideas.
So what's the COVID situation like there right now?
Yeah, listen, I just I touched ground 3 years ago by plane, and I'm home now from the tour. And I can tell you, it's very different in some countries in Europe.
Sure.
Here in Spain, situation is, I mean, the COVID situation is cool, but the restrictions are not being yet out. So we did a couple festivals before going on tour, and the first one was with people seated, you know, not really cool. But then the second one, we went to the south and we did this Metal Paradise. We played with Creator and Ginger, a couple cool bands, and it was people standing up, and we didn't really know until we got there, because we were like, yeah, they are saying there won't be restrictions, but how can it be? Because yesterday we played with people seated, and then we get there and it's like, you know, this 1,500 people moshing, and we're like, wow, freaking out, because we just saw it when we came out, you know. So it was,
you thought it was going to be subdued, right? I mean,
yeah,
thought maybe everybody was going to be separated by 6 feet and not allowed to do a lot of stuff.
After all this time, was crazy. But now in Europe, it really, we didn't know still. We were not clear what would happen, because we were kind of one of the first bands to tour European venues in our scene. But we really wanted to push this, you know, just get back to work immediately. Yeah. So we pushed, and I think we were right, because we had like very cool ticket sales and no restrictions. I think it was just one show which had a bit of people sitting down, but mostly in Central Europe is now without restrictions. You got your COVID pass, they scan for it, no mask, full mosh. So it was amazing, you know, like coming back again, and we're feeling all this emotion now.
Yeah, and the timing is great. The world needs mosh. That is true.
Yeah,
Right now,
that's
more
true.
than anything, right? Because you get a
Yeah.
live show and people lose their mind because they've been trapped for, you know, a year and a half, and then they actually get a chance to get out and see these bands and get that energy out again. It's great. So
Yeah, and you really can see with the audience, you know, they were so happy, man. Usually, I think this is the best part of Crisix, that people walk out of the venue with the biggest smile. I don't know, you know, this is how people feel, how we feel. We also walk out with a big smile. But this time it was like you could see this 2 years of energy that
yeah,
people had inside of them,
it's
and
pent up, you
everyone
know.
was freaking out. I tell you, it was like saunas, you know, like
Yeah.
sweating and people getting crazy. And you understand, yeah, this, we were the same on stage. We usually are like this on stage, but this time was like, wow, we are here really living this like never before,
So you
because they
guys are
took it away
you're
from
feeding
us.
off of that energy, right?
Yeah, now you take it back and you are like getting crazy, you know. It's very special feeling.
It's got to be a nice, I mean, it's got to be a nice rush after all this time off
Absolutely.
to get up in
Best.
front of a live audience and, you know, see people moshing, see a pit again, and get the whole thing going again. I mean, that's got to be a rush, because it has. It's like the world just shut down for a year. You
Absolutely.
know?
Absolutely.
And it was crazy. I mean, it's still limited here in the U.S.
Uh-huh. Because I thought
Depending
it
on
was,
where, you know.
it depends on where. Okay.
Yeah, it depends on where. Obviously, we still have some serious places, you know, where we have really high rates, but it seems like that it's slowly coming back. That we're starting to see more concerts, more venues open up again, and so you know, some of that's happened because of the vaccination rate. It's getting a little higher, I guess, too. But yeah, it's great. But over here, it's a whole different thing. No one wants to show you their COVID card. Like,
Yeah, for sure. I know.
it's like
I know.
nobody
Well,
wants to do
it's a
that, you
difficult
know,
thing.
where I
Yeah.
guess over there in Europe, it's pretty standard, right?
Yeah, it depends on the place. It's a bit, sorry, I'm connecting my computer.
Oh,
So
no, you're good.
it depends a bit on the place, depends, you know, it really changed from one spot to another. So now I think it's just seeing how it develops. But the other day I read like Denmark was already declaring this post-COVID era. And there was like this festival with 150,000 people. So some
Yeah.
countries are really taking the step now beyond this moment, and I think it will just take maybe a bit more time here in Spain, maybe less time in other places, but we will get there pretty soon, I hope, you know.
Yeah, the first show that I went back out to after, like I said, probably a year before I went back out to a live show. And it was kind of weird because I was not used to seeing that many people in one place together, you know, because it's sort of like a zombie movie, you know, for the last year. Everything's quiet, it's shut down. You see a few people on the street, but you don't have crowds of people anywhere. And so to come back into that, it's, yeah, you do. You kind of feed off of that energy of the crowd that's around you too, because everybody
Hey,
feels that same
absolutely.
frustration.
Absolutely. I can tell you, we did a couple of things during these 2 years. We did Vakken Worldwide, which was in a studio.
Yeah.
And then we did Health Fest Online, which was, I mean, it was crazy. There's a live video on YouTube for this, like fire and drones and, you know, everything, because Hellfest is so big and so amazing. But no people, you know, and really, it was cool, but it was not that cool, you know. Once you get the people in, then everything makes sense, you know.
Yeah, pretty much
And
every
this is what
musician.
World Leads March is about, you know. And you could see, we could see that the reactions, people were really asking for this song during all the set, and it's just been released, but it was just like instant classic. Like everybody was feeling this message, and we were really not saying you all need mosh. We were telling, we the band needs it, you know. So it's kind of leveling us. Yeah.
And it's true, you know, like you said, that every musician that I've talked to, especially during COVID, they're super excited to get back out and get that instant reaction, that feedback directly from the crowd. This is what you guys live for. I don't know a single band member that would rather sit in a studio and write songs and not be on a stage.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Yeah, that's what you're there for.
Absolutely, man. That would be weird. But you know, I really see, you know, like I work outside of Crisix with a lot of musicians and different styles, and I've been producing and all this. And you know how many cases of depression between musicians, because I'm sure everywhere, but with musicians, it's crazy. And once you start playing, it's like everything goes away, and there's this need, you know, like the fix. You need this fix to really play.
It's euphoric. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really heavy on people. So it's cool that we are getting back.
Yeah, you guys are brightening people's lives with with a little bit of pizza thrown in there for along with it. So when do you expect the new? I mean, obviously the EP is just now coming out, but when do you expect to release the full-length album?
Okay, so this it will be very soon. But now we are on the Pizza E.P era, you know what I mean? But really, it's getting there. It will be for sure next year, earlier than, you know, maybe everyone expects, but not yet. We really want to know. We will do now November tour on Europe again. Keep, you know, really with this Pizza E.P. And then we will go into full album very soon. Yeah, very soon. And I got it here for sure, but but it's not time yet to show it.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you're excited about it, and I mean, it's cool in a way that you had this time that you really couldn't perform live, so you had a chance to record a lot of material. I think that's great. And so you can kind of put that to use a little down the road as you're going back out touring. Have you already got tours set up, or are you opening for any bands you can comment on yet? Or
no, we are headlining this tour. It's like our tour.
Oh, you're headlining. Okay, great.
Yeah. I mean, we wanted really to go full on, you know.
Yeah, awesome, man.
And we are headlining, and well, but really we are doing, you know, we got some local bands in each place, but then we tour with this very awesome Austrian crossover band called Insanity Alert. And they really fit Crisix. You know, we really found some guys that we love, and we had the best experience. We had played with them before, but just a couple times, and now in this tour, you know, man, when you really connect with another band, and you see them every day, and it's like you are all in the same band. This awesome. More or less was the feeling, and it's so difficult to find that. I hope we really, now in November, we will go with them again. And they are so fun, you know, they really have this same spirit as we do. It's just a very fun show, very fast, and, you know, maybe they are more on the punk side, we're more on the metal side, but in the end, people really get a full show with these two bands that makes sense, you know, and it's a full experience. So we're very happy with this tour package right now.
So what's the music scene like over in Spain?
Can you repeat? Sorry, because
it's okay. What's the music scene like there?
You mean generally in Europe, you mean? Yeah, well, you know, here there's kind of a lot, but it depends really on the countries. You have different things, you know. There are countries that are more lean onto this Viking metal epic thing, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm always been more about the American stuff, really.
Sure.
But it really depends. But there's a bit of everything everywhere. now I think what we really have that is cool in Europe, and it really lets a lot of bands thrive, is that we have a cool venue system
Mhm.
all through Europe. Not in Spain. Spain doesn't have this, and it's a shame. But then when you get to France and on,
Mhm.
these very cool venues, very well thought, very well designed, where you got your space for. Yeah, I mean, it's not like this in Spain. You will get or the big venue. If you go to medium venue, it's already a bit weird. They are reusing some other space, you know.
Sure.
But I really like this from and coming back now from tour that you really see that everything is so well thought. You know, it's this German precision kind of thing.
Well, European
But
fans seem really dedicated to metal.
oh yeah,
You know,
totally.
the U.S. scene to me seems kind of disjointed right now. It's a mixture of a lot of different things, and it's
Yeah,
sort of like they can't decide what our scene really is in the U.S. right now. So,
mhm,
which is okay to have a variety. I'm a pretty eclectic guy myself. I like a
yeah.
little bit of all of it. But yeah, it's kind of weird right now. It's like we don't have an identity here for a metal
You
scene
know
at the
what?
moment.
What I think this is also what's happening. I talk a lot. I got some, you know, students from production, all this, and
Yeah,
sometimes they come to me and they are like, "Hey, but how did you do this when you were like 16, 17, 18?" I was like, "Man, I had a scene. You know,
sure,
I had a metal scene
sure,
full of people that really were occupying this space, old space that was abandoned, and do some grindcore shows, and then you would go to here, and we all knew each other.
sure.
And right now, and I always tell them that I'm so sorry for this, but I tell them like, man, first thing you gotta do, your generation, is build a fucking scene.
Yeah,
Because if you don't have a scene to push you up, you will never. And then, you know, I'm in another scene, which is the professional musicians and session
sure.
players scene.
Yeah,
And here there's a scene.
yeah,
But then if you go to the more alternative or underground, which is where I come from, I don't see this happening anymore. I think everyone is about his Instagram post and playing his fucking solo on his motherfucking Instagram page. And this is cool. I do it too, you know.
yeah,
But this is not real. It's
yeah.
not brotherhood and it's not art
Yeah,
as
and
I
I see a
think
lot
it
of
should be.
bands, and I get sent a lot of material for review from a lot of bands who, and I don't want to slag anybody in particular, but they're not bands. I mean, they literally could not perform or play in front of an audience.
Aha.
They can record with a computer and make it sound pretty good. You know, they can make it sound fairly perfect or this or that, but put them in front of somebody or even put them together and it just doesn't exist
Yeah.
as a true band. And so you see a lot of this in a kind of a wannabe situation where there really
Yeah.
isn't
I
a
think
band. It's
this
a
is
couple of guys who are just sitting in a basement recording stuff, which don't get me wrong, that's kind of cool if that's your thing, if
it
you
is,
want
it
to
is.
do it. But yeah, I'm like you. I miss
For
the
me it's
multiple
weird.
bands, the guys hanging out, the whole scene of, you
I
know,
mean, that's
hey,
what
I
I
know that
signed up
guy.
for.
What's up, dude? You know, and
Ah,
when
yeah,
you go to a
that's it,
concert, everybody
man.
knows everybody, kind of thing. Yeah, and
That's
we've
it. And
lost a
then
little bit of that somewhere.
we lost it, and I think it will come back as I think analogic recording will come back. There are a lot of things that will come back. Maybe, I don't know, but I'm all for that, you know. But in the end,
I like the sound too. I'm like you. I like the
yeah,
analog
yeah,
footage.
yeah. I mean,
I don't
it's
like it to
okay.
be too clean because it takes some of the harshness away.
I
It
think,
takes
yeah.
what I
I
like.
mean,
I like that little bit of imperfection sometimes
if
because it
things are
sounds
perfect, it's not
real.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
it's a
That's it.
machine if it's perfect. I don't want it to be just that. I want to feel like a person did it. And people aren't perfectionists no matter how hard they try to
I
be.
agree totally. I agree totally. And you know, here with this, I'm kind of old school, even in kind of when I work, you know, and I record and all this, and I don't understand music without the live
Yeah.
music part. You know, I like the studio a lot. I work a lot on the studio, but what the
It-
fuck, man? You know, I think I'm closer, and with Crisix, we are closer than this band of gypsies that went from town to town
Sure.
you know, just or like my grandmother when in the 30s, and this blind accordionist will come and play here,
Yeah.
you know, and I really vibe with this way more than with this kind of computer guy. I don't understand this. I'm more this old school guy. I want to jump in the band. I want to go to every city and play for the people, you know, and this is how I understand being a musician.
Sure. And I think it's great that you're doing it. And you know, maybe after the whole pandemic situation gets better, which we're going to hope, that you'll have more of a reason for people to want to have a scene too. We've been socially distant, you know, people haven't been able to get around each other. And so maybe now this whole, hey, great to see somebody kind of thing, you know, is going to come back into play because, yeah, I mean, you know,
maybe now is the right time.
So maybe it'll help build a scene around something that we didn't have, some camaraderie with people, you know, because I mean, I know we got social media and I know you can do all that stuff, but in a way it's kind of antisocial in the fact that it's not person to person, face to face.
That's right.
And that's what you guys live for. You're on stage, you see the crowd, you see them screaming. I mean, it's got to be a rush to see people, you know,
man,
I'm sure you're seeing people sing the lyrics to your songs like back at you. And I mean, how cool is that, you know?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's what it's all about. Yeah, and that's where the magic happens. And that's where I tell you where the band really becomes a band.
Yeah.
Because you can be in rehearsal all your life.
Sure.
But you will never be a band until you can do the same show when you are in front of 5 people or in front of 5,000 people. This is so important. Because if you depend on how many guys are screaming at you how good you are, then fuck, man, you are not ready. You know what I mean? So you got to go through this. I think it's very important.
Yeah, well, it's the energy. I mean, it's the energy of a live performance. But yeah, the video clips you guys put out were awesome. You know, for this Pizza E.P. It's pretty cool. I like the fact that it's a mini movie that goes along with it. I'm just impressed how you guys were able to take this whole thing and wrap it all into one nice, neat little package. I just think it's really cool. So
yeah, good. Thank you. Man.
Yeah, so I'm hoping, you know, you guys, this does really well for you and gets people, you know, psyched up and ready for, you know, the next thing coming up, which of course is the full length album. And we'll be hearing hopefully after the first of the year sometime.
Yeah, very soon.
Yeah. Well, Ben, I appreciate so much you taking time out to talk with us at XX Rock today.
My pleasure.
And looking forward to your album coming out, and we're gonna try to get the word out what you guys are doing, because great stuff.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure to speak with you. It was very fun too.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. Hopefully we can talk again.
All right, yeah, let's do it again.
All
sure.
right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Bobby. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, same here.
Ciao.